Hey guys, Mike here. Today this is going to be the ultimate DIY beginner concrete slab here for 2026. This is a pool house slab, big pool going in over here, but kind of a small pool house actually for the size of the pool. We're pouring the concrete. We got hired to pour and finish the concrete. The guy in the back in the green shirt, he's the one that did the forming, did the grading. We are going to put a mat of rebar in this. We just wanted to get a little concrete kind of flattened out on the base first, instead of having to hold the rebar up off the rock. So the access here wasn't great. I mean, we could back down the driveway, but we couldn't get him any closer than the fence. You can kind of see the back of the hopper on the concrete truck way in the back, and there's just that one entry, kind of that one opening right there to go through. So, you know, instead of spending $1,000 or $1,100 on a line pump, we just rented a power buggy for $200, and that's how we're getting the concrete back and forth. Now, after you see me dump this second power buggy out, just take a guess down in the comments. Let me know, how many power buggies do you think it's going to take to fill this thing up? I bet you'll be way off. Just let me know down in the comments. So a standard 4,000 PSI mix exterior concrete for us, even though they're going to build a little pool house over it. It's got fiber mesh in it. It's, like I said, 4,000 PSI. It's got water reducer in it, got some air entrainment in it. And we're going to leave Darin. Darin's the guy in the gray sweatshirt on the left. Luke and I will leave him here to finish this. He'll mag it out. He'll broom finish it. He'll put an edge around it. He'll probably even cut a joint across the middle. Luke and I got to go work on another job right after this. So we're just getting it poured out. That's our DeWalt pencil vibrator. Darin is just kind of vibrating the edges pretty good. The edges were actually pretty thick, probably way thicker than it needed to be for a little pool house, quite honestly. There's a lot of ledge here that you can't see, and that's why they're doing things kind of the way they're doing it with the pool and all that. But there's a lot of rock right under this dirt that is covered up. It's not that far down either. So with the power buggy, you know, I like the one with the tracks, like the one we're using today. They have ones with wheels too. The ones with wheels would have worked pretty good today also, but the ones with tracks, what I've noticed is that thing will go anywhere, no matter how soft the dirt is. Whether the grass is wet and slippery, the tracks are going to take that thing anywhere. When you have wheels, you got to have the right conditions, otherwise the wheels will just spin in the soft dirt, or they'll slip and slide on grassy or muddy dirt. Or, I mean, if you have the option to rent one or the other, definitely get the ones with the tracks. The only thing I'm doing here that I probably would have changed differently is when I back away, I probably would have backed away a little further before I turned, because I'm kind of tearing up the dirt a little bit right there where I have to dump the concrete in, and it's just making it a little bit bumpy for me when I come back the next time. That thing goes pretty fast. You know, I don't have it on full throttle, but I got it going pretty good. I'd say that's probably around a 6 for a slump. That's usually what we tell the driver, unless we need it for something, you know, with a bigger slope or stairs or something. We usually pour about a 6 with the water reducer. So without the water reducer, that thing's probably equivalent to like a 3 slump as far as strength goes, water cement ratio. These are always good little jobs for us. You know, we're used to doing bigger stuff every day, like a big house pour or a house and garage pour. But occasionally, you know, you just got to make time to do some of the stuff, some of the smaller stuff that other people can't do, and they can't find anybody else to do it either. So we try to be as accommodating as possible and work as much stuff into our schedule as we can. The tricky thing for us is in Maine, you know, our pour schedule is really about 8 months. The other 4 months, it's kind of difficult to pour. 3 of them is almost impossible to pour outside, like December, January, and February. We may pour outside once in a great while, but it's rare. So November's not too bad. March is beginning to be able to, you know, you're beginning to get, there's the rebar mat, we're going right in. So now we'll make sure that's about, you know, 3 or 4 inches from the surface by doing it this way instead of trying to, because that stuff's so light, it's just going to move all around. But I mean, come March, the temperatures are starting to warm up enough to pour outside. But usually in Maine, they post the roads for weight because there's a lot of frost in the ground, and as the frost starts to melt away or thaw, the roads, they can get kind of soft, and concrete trucks are super heavy, so they'll limit the time you can drive a concrete truck on the road early in the spring, usually middle of March into April, and then beginning of May they'll pull those weight restrictions off, so we can start pouring like full time in May. We could probably start pouring full time in April if they lift the road restrictions. All right, what number wheelbarrow is that? Does anybody remember yet? It's kind of late in the fall here, actually. Well, it's beginning of fall. The leaves haven't quite started turning yet, but it's, the nights are a little bit chilly, and then the days are warming up pretty nice. So it's a really nice time of year to work, actually. Now the guy in the back in the green, he's doing a bunch of remodeling here and building. He's going to build actually that deck you see on the back of the house, they're tearing that off and they're putting another garage bay back there. So we got another floor and a slab to do back there. He's going to do some knee walls on top of the ledge. He's going to do them by himself, and then we'll come in and do the floor. So he's going to build that, as well as, he's building this, and he's kind of overseeing everything else. And then in the garage, later on, this winter, we're going to do an epoxy coating in there. It's funny how, like this job led to the little garage floor job, and then these two both led to doing the epoxy coating job. So that's how things kind of just add up sometimes when you get on a job site. And it helps if you can do multiple services too, whether it's concrete repair or even like we could pour a pool deck around that pool if they wanted us to, but I think they're doing all some type of paver bluestones or something around the pool. I like that power buggy. That's a pretty nice one. I've always thought about just getting one for ourselves, but if we had one, we'd probably use it a lot more. But we don't run into a lot of jobs during the year where we actually need one. So, rather than spend $10,000 or $15,000 on a piece of equipment that you got to maintain, I just figured, if we're using it 3 or 4 times a year, just spend the $200 to rent it for the day. That's how I've always felt. Looks like the boys are getting it pretty close. I don't want to get too much in there and have to shovel it out. And we'll just make the concrete truck driver wait a minute, see what we got, get our edges all floated out. We could screed it just the way it is, because he's vibrated those edges so they've all filled in pretty nicely. We could just really grab the screed and go over it, but I don't know, this is just a habit for us. We always mag float our edges, get them nice and smooth, clean off the tops of the forms so when we run the screed over it, there's no crap on top of the forms you're screeding over. It's just the habits that we've picked up over the years that we do. And if you're new to this and you're thinking of doing something like this yourself, this is the basic way you're going to do it. I don't have the finishing on this video. Look, if you want to learn how to finish something really nice like this, I would suggest joining the Concrete Underground. That's my online training. There'll be a link for that down in the description. That's pretty inexpensive really to learn how to do concrete, joining a membership like that. Having all my training videos in there teaching you all the different types of concrete that we do. So that's an option for you too. Or you could just watch this and, hope for the best, I guess. But I've had a lot of my students go through that course and be able to pour concrete on their own and say it was well worth the money and the time it took to go through it to do their own concrete project. And they save, you save a ton of money. For me, I have a minimum charge for doing stuff like this because I have to run a business, right? So basically a minimum charge is, $3,500 plus materials. If you add the concrete, you add the power buggy in there, and then the time to go get the power buggy, bring it back. So it's basically like $4,500 to hire somebody like us to do this, which isn't really crazy bad. You know, considering, you know, we didn't form it, we didn't prep the gravel or anything like that. So you got to add that in there too. But if you decide to do this yourself, you know, you pay for the concrete, you know, you pay for, you know, if you got to get a power buggy or whatever, or you use wheelbarrows, I guess. So you could save thousands of dollars really doing this yourself if you knew what you were doing, like if you had the knowledge. And the only way you're going to get that is through some type of online training, or if you travel somewhere to take a class, you know, a weekend class, which those don't really give you the same experience as all the knowledge I give you, that I can give you in those online trainings, because I break everything down into details, and my trainings are actually about doing stuff on the job like this right here. So I mean, it's just a couple different ways of looking at it. Either you hire somebody and you pay a lot of money for something this small, or you can try to, if you're pretty handy, you like doing stuff on your own, you know, you can get a little education behind you and do it on your own, save some money, and it's probably going to come out okay. We're just getting down to the end. Luke's pulling a little bit out of there. He's probably going to get it really close. Now Luke's been with me, the guy in the blue, for almost 30 years. Darin's been with me, the one in the yellow, over 30 years. And then I've been doing it 45 years, so there's 100 and some odd years of experience right there with us three guys. That's probably pretty rare for three guys. And we're all from the same town. We all grew up in the same town. You know, I'm a little bit older than these guys. I'm about 10 years older than Darin, 15 years older than Luke. But we all get along pretty good, just like family. So I'm going to get that. There's probably like 3 or 4 buckets of concrete left in the power buggy, and the guy said just dump it right there. He'll pick it up with a skid steer later. Because I want to get that washed out before the concrete driver takes off. And I don't want to hold him up either. So we'll get that scraped out of there, and then Darin and Luke will finish screeding this. Darin's going to get it both loaded. I'm going to show you how he's going to do that. You know, the concrete was a little stiff, and it was actually setting up on us a little bit. We put a little accelerator in it. Plus he had about an hour's ride to get down here. So we could feel it setting up right about now as we're finished screeding it, magging the little piece out. Usually we can run the bull float over something like this. We'll just push it down, pull it back, everything fills in really nice. We don't have to go over it more than once. But you'll see Darin's going to have to go over it multiple times just because it's stiffening up really good. This would have been a perfect job for our bull float with the vibrator on it. And you know, if I'd have thought about it, I'd have thrown it in the truck just to show you how that works. That works really good. Another thing that works pretty good, you could throw a little bit of weight on the bull float, whether it's, you know, a couple rocks, or if you've got some metal pins, you can throw a couple metal pins on it. Adding a little weight to it at this point is not going to hurt it. It's going to make that fill in a little bit better and smooth it out. And it doesn't matter because we screeded right off the form, right? A lot of guys say you want to bull float 90 degrees to the way you screed. You know, when you're screeding right flat off the forms like this, that doesn't matter. The way you could do it either way. Darin's doing it this way just because he can get more done in, you know, one pass, right? He's not going 6 feet back and forth. You know, he's going about 15 feet back and forth. So this is the same way I'd have done it too, the way Darin's doing it. Hey, if you're new to my channel, if you're still watching this, first, thanks. But if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. If you do subscribe, make sure you put new sub in the comments. I'll enter you into a drawing to win some of the gear that we wear. I'm giving away t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and I pick a new winner every week. So just make sure you got to put new sub in the comments. That's how you enter, and I pick somebody after I go through the comments. And I'll get your address. You know, I put it out. I put it out in my community advertisement, just who won, and I get your address, your size, what color you want, and then get one shipped up and made out to you. There, just putting the finishing touches on it. Like I said, Darin's going to stay here, let it set up a little bit. He'll mag float it out a couple times, run a broom across it, put the edger on it. put a joiner on it. And that's basically it, man. A nice DIY or beginner concrete slab right there for you, and that's a good way to start. So check out these other videos right here, and we'll see you on those.